everything that happens, even when it happens in a way that you don't think you want, it is leading to something more. And there are two things that we want to say to you. Slow down in the action part. Just slow down in the action part. Let the impulse to act build until you can't not act. That's really what we're saying. Until wild horses cannot keep you from the clarity that you've come to. It feels like the whole point of the deliberate creation is to be able to jump into action as quickly as possible. And what we're wanting you to do is cool your jets just a little bit. And instead of being so eager to jump into action, enjoy the unfolding and the inspired action. And we know it's a fine line between jumping into action to make something happen and then being inspired to the action because the energy has already made it happen. In other words, you know that feeling of inspiration. Do you know that feeling? You know that feeling of an idea hatching and it being so big that it really feels exciting to you when it first comes. And then if you're normal, once that happens, once you hatch that, once you receive that, then you want to jump ahead and figure out how, where, when, who. And the most important thing is realizing that through the contrast is coming the clarity. And when the clarity is profound, then act. But don't act to accomplish the clarity. Clarity and then action. Alignment and then action. Next, we want to say to you that nothing has gone wrong. And that it is a natural unfolding, and in every day of your life experience, this is the way it works. Contrast causes you to put stuff in the vortex, but you're not up to speed with that because it's a contrast that gave birth to it. So now you think about that and you come into alignment with that, and that feels more natural and more normal. And so now you're standing over here and you're in the receptive mode. And now because you're in the receptive mode, now the manifestation occurs because in your reception, you've turned those thoughts to things. Boom. So here you stand in this new manifestation with a whole new set of contrasting experiences, which cause you to give birth to another rocket of desire, which at first you're not up to speed with because you're over here knowing what you don't want, but you contemplate it and you look at it and you become a vibrational match to it. And now you're moving and moving and moving, and now you're inside that vortex. You're in the receiving mode. And because you're in the receiving mode, now it's unfolding. You're realizing it. Your thoughts are turning to things. Boom. Now you have another manifestation. And a whole new set of contrasting experiences which are causing you to put more, and on and on and on and on and on it goes. There's no wrongdoing. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. How do you know that you moved too fast until you've experienced yourself moving too fast? How do you know that you weren't in perfect alignment until it turns out not so good? How do you know? And have you lost anything? No. Have you gained something? Knowledge and understanding of how the universe works and how you work with it. The most important thing. So think about being a wire walker, and you're going to walk on a wire at great height across something. And it's really all on you and your balance. There are no wires that are more special than others. Wire walker doesn't fall and then complain that the wire was twisted funny. Finding your balance is all that is required in that, finding your balance. And don't walk across high places until you know you've found your balance. But there's no high place that you walked across. There was no risk. There was no danger. In the beginning, you're walking across that wire and it's only a foot off the floor, and you're not very good at finding your balance, but you get better and better and better and better at finding your balance. And so what happens is sometimes deliberate creators like you want to raise the stakes higher and higher because you think it will make you focus better. It doesn't. You don't focus better at higher risk. So that's why we're saying, don't be so eager to jump into action. Let life help you find that clarity. And when you find that clarity, it's the clarity that you want, not the project. It's the clarity you want, not the agreements. It's the clarity you want. Because when you've got clarity, then you know what to do next and next and next and next and next and next. Is that helpful to you? The universe and your inner being, everyone's standing on our heads in order to help you find the clarity that is within you. If you could accept that you would be in tune if you weren't doing that thing that didn't let you be in tune. The next thing is care about how you feel and guide your thoughts to thoughts that feel better and better. because your inner being is looking right at whatever you're looking at and feeling good. So you want to find a way to feel the way your inner being is feeling. So step 1 is you ask, you're doing it all day. Step 2 is source answers, and law of attraction gathers all of the cooperative components. And step 3 is you must find a way to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for, which means you must be optimistic. You must be anticipating good things. You must be ready to let good things in. You can't be down on yourself or down on someone else. You can't be mad at yourself or mad at someone else. You can't be noticing what isn't happening and allow something that you want to happen to happen. You've got to find a different way. Otherwise, if you're just focusing on what is in terms of what you have already allowed to manifest, that's really not even what is. That's old news. What is in the vortex, ready for you to allow for yourself and others to see. So we're always doing a sales job, wanting you, and it's not easy for you, we know. You physically focused, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching beings, to for a little while not being so absorbed in what you're seeing, but instead feeling a little bit. Let yourself feel anticipation of your desire. So then we go on to explain to you that the way these things, experiences, material objects, whatever it is that you're wanting to see and hear and smell and taste and touch, how do they become things? How does this vibration become a thought, become a thing? How does that happen? How are you turning thoughts to things? Well, you're doing it by holding a frequency that allows you to be in the receiving mode, that allows you to realize. That's the thing. So sometimes you say, well, I wish such and such would be revealed to me. And we say, it's being revealed constantly. The question is, are you on the wavelength where you can receive it? Are you the realizer of it? Or are you the denier of it because you can't see it? So we're asking you for a little while to be a little less seeing and a little less hearing, a little less observing, and a little more feeling, a little more reaching for the feeling. And you know, that part should not be difficult for you, because there isn't anything that you want that is for any other reason than you believe you would feel better in the experiencing of it. So we know it's a terrible price to pay to get happy and expectant about things. And we also know, we know this for sure about you, that when you are observing unwanted, that it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming, because law of attraction says that it must. Whatever is active in your vibration, you get more and more and more and more and more and more and more of it. The good news is, in knowing what you don't want, you're launching rockets of desire about what you do want. And so it is all working out for you. We just think that it's time for you to understand it and check your attitude a little bit. Check your mood a little bit. Do something about it. If something is causing you to be unhappy, turn your attention away from it. Things are always working out for you, but your perception of them has to do with how much momentum you've got going toward your desire and how much momentum you've got going in opposition to your desire. So things have always been working out for you, but let's say that instead of you feeling more good than not good, that you had been feeling more not good. Let's say you hadn't gotten off on the right foot and you'd had some unpleasant things in your day-to-day now experience that had you pushing against things. And let's say that you were like most people, you're observing what's happening, and so it happens, you feel it, you flow it. Law of attraction and timing are the same words. Because law of attraction is always operating in the powerful now. Law of attraction isn't operating in your yesterday or in your tomorrow. Law of attraction is operating in your powerful now. So whatever you're feeling now explains why things unfold the way they do. And it really comes down to something very simple. You're either receptive to help or you're blocked off to help. We like this analogy. So life causes you to know that you do want something. And let's say that you actually are able to articulate, I want this. And you plunk an engine down going that way. So that engine is going that way and will continue to go that way and will gather momentum on its own because your inner being is tending it. Law of attraction is responding to that thought. So it is moving. Now, this is so important for you to hear this. And forgive the rudimentary analogy, but it will help you. As your engine is moving that way, and you are not moving, that engine moving will give you a little stress. Let's say your feet are nailed to the track, but the engine is pulling you that way. You will feel stress. Now, not as much stress as if you had an engine going that way, but not moving in the direction of your momentum does feel uncomfortable. Therefore, this is the most powerful and factual thing that we've ever said to anyone. The existence of your desire will automatically produce stress within you unless you let go and move with your desire. So the very existence of negative emotion means that you've got a desire. The very existence of negative emotion means your source, your inner being is calling you. In other words, the existence of negative emotion means that help is on the way. And so don't be angry at yourself about your anger. Say, oh, good, this is good news. This means I'm pulling against something. And what is it that I'm pulling against? My momentum, my success, my inner being, and what my inner being knows. And then tack onto this knowledge a few personal experiences where you witness with your own eyes things working out for you. And then little by little, you become more of a cooperative component to your own allowance of things. And once you get rolling, once those things start stacking up, once this conversation leads to this conversation. Esther was playing with a friend a few weeks ago. They were working on a project together that was more about what he was doing than what she was doing, but she was helping him with this project, and they were high-fiving each other every 5 minutes because the thoughts that they were thinking and the fun that they were having just led to event after event after event after event that was just jaw-dropping. Nothing extraordinary in the sense that you couldn't understand how it happened. It was a consistent, constant sequence of it that left them breathless. And they said to one another many, many times, no one can ever explain that the universe isn't on our side and that things aren't working out for us. The evidence is too profound. Well, hearing it about someone else is well and good and maybe even humorous, but when it happens to you, it's meaningful. Finding a $9,000 diamond in the bushes, if it happens to somebody else, it's a coincidence, or maybe she was doing something different than I'm doing, or maybe she's just lucky, and maybe Abraham's just making a big deal out of what luck really is. But when it happens to you, when you are privy to the desire that's within you and the conversations that are within you, when you witness the universal response to your vibration, and when you're consciously aware of the vibration that you're offering, then this all begins to make sense. If you're just stumbling into things and you're not able to acknowledge the correlation between what you were thinking and what you were feeling and the manifestations, then you don't have hands-on access to how it works. But when it's happening to you like that, then you know. Negative emotion is a meaningful response to not being in sync with the thoughts of your inner being about things that really matter to you. By the time it reaches anger, this matters a lot, and you're pulling hard against something you want. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely.